you doing?
Yeah, all good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah,
Brilliant, brilliant. How are we getting on?
I'm good, man. Yeah, just finished work, so yeah, excited to see what this is all about.
Yeah, nice, mate. Nice. Pleasure, pleasure. So where are you kind of calling from today? I can pick up on the Scottish accent there.
Just outside Glasgow, mate. So it's called Motherwell, just about 20 minutes out. What about you?
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. I'm down in London, just outside North London.
Yeah,
So yeah, opposite ends of the country, but yeah, all good.
all good, mate. All good.
Look, so we've got only about kind of 45 minutes to an hour. So is it all right if we kind of jump straight into this?
All good, mate. Yeah, let's go.
Great. So the way I kind of like to structure these calls, if someone's application looks good, Daniel will actually want me to kind of talk to them before joining, just to understand kind of where they're at, why they're looking to get into his mentorship, and I guess more importantly, what they're kind of looking to do with trading moving forward. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, sounds fun, mate. Let's do it.
Great. So the main aim for us both today really is just to come to a decision whether or not you should come on board. But at the very least, I can give you an insight into the mentorship, the wider kind of trading industry as a whole. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Great. So a brief bit of context about myself. It was about kind of 9 months ago. I was sat where you're sat right now, questioning whether I should really kind of come on board with Daniel. But fast forward to now, I've been able to leave my 9 to 5, and I'm now sitting on the other side of the fence as actually a coach within his mentorship. So if all else fails, I'll be a really good kind of resource for you and be able to kind of help you see whether this is for you or not. Does that sound all okay?
Yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah.
Great. So the best place for us to start really is why have we kind of booked in the call today? And more importantly, why are we here?
Yeah, so I've seen offers online with trading. It's something, you watch the films, you're interested in it. I've got a bit of money put aside. Um, I was currently doing music as well for like 10 years, but this is something obviously on a financial level I've been really interested in. So I
Mhm.
thought doing that, booking in to see what I would, if it fits me. Um, and yeah, just try to find a new path to kind of financial freedom, really.
And you say kind of freedom there, but why are you looking to get more kind of financial freedom? Because typically the thing that kind of separates the guys that like yourself that come in that make maybe say 5k a month and get kind of stuck there versus the people that go on to make the 10, 20, 30k a month and beyond is genuinely the reason that why this is so important to them in the first place. So talk to me, like, why is it so important to kind of for you to kind of get into this now?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've just turned 27 at the end of summer. I'm saving up for a house for me and my missus.
Mhm.
After that, you're obviously looking for engagement rings, things like that. Yeah, I think, you hit a part in your life where it's just like, I really want to find something that kind of fulfills me. At the moment, I'm working at a bank, I'm working at Barclays, and it's okay. But, you see the managers that are 20, 30 years ahead of you, and it's not where I typically want to be be honest. I don't think that would fulfill me. With
Mhm.
trading, it's always kind of spiked an interest, but I think it's a time in your life where you jump on and say, yeah, I'm going to give this a bash. I'm gonna give it a go.
So if the
So yeah,
case is you're 27 now, you're with the missus, you're looking to kind of move out, potentially engagement ring down the line as well. But you said like your job now is not fulfilling you. Can you go into that a bit more for me? What do you mean by that?
yeah. So it's been a year. After the kind of honeymoon phase, as you would probably say,
Hmm.
it's kind of the same admin jobs. It kind of rolls over again and again. And I thought to myself, after that honeymoon ended, I was on a commute going into Glasgow, and as you would know in Scotland, the weather just isn't good. So it was a rainy morning, and it was just like, I just, what if I couldn't be a part of this? If I could figure something out working from home, especially in something that I'm excited about, that would make me more fulfilled than ever, especially when the finance comes in as well.
And obviously there's that the finance side is obviously great. And you mentioned twice now, like you kind of get excited about it. And we'll go into kind of what you're doing in terms of working in banking, but what kind of excites you about trading more so than maybe another kind of online business model that you've seen, I'm sure you've seen kind of out there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think the thing with trading is it's been a consistent thing you always see like in movies or, you know, friends might talk about it, or you might see something on the news, but it just always seems like you're always connected to what's happening in the world. You know, the world reflects with the trades, with the stock market.
Mhm.
Um, and it's something that's always piqued my interest. For example, I was actually on my 21st birthday, how long ago this was. Uh, um, Me and my mum went to New York and we went down to the World Trade Center and went down
Oh
to
yeah.
Wall Street and things like that. And I was like, wow, like to see it rather than on the films or whatever. And obviously, you see the news and everything. I was like, do you know what? Like, if that could be a reality, you know, what's the difference between them and me? So that's the kind of idea behind it.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. And so what you're saying is even like looking the difference between you and them, you've definitely not kind of got 100% of that kind of money, that time freedom that as you ideally kind of want right now at all.
Yeah, so you know, you get what am I making it out about 3,000 after tax, which is okay at my age. But I think the thing is, with the goals that you've got, it's not really accessible. You pick and choose what you need to do. You've got your savings, you've got your bills. You know, picking times to go out with family or your girlfriend, things like that. It's picking and choosing the life that I really want rather than having it all.
And how does that make you feel, like that picking and choosing? So you can only do some things and not others. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, frustrated, definitely. You feel like at this age especially you would have a moment where you would feel like, oh, I've really done myself really well, but you know, everything can be okay. Looking at the whole of things, you know, you work at a bank in town, everything's quite good. It's a nice cozy office, but I'm not getting to my goals. It's the frustratingness of going, I know I'm capable of doing it, but you know, I just don't this I just can't stay here anymore, you know.
And you said there like it looks good from the outside. Is that who's looking at that? Is that you looking at that? Is that you comparing yourself to other people? Who thinks it's good from the
Yeah,
outside?
I think for example, like you go down your local pub, you know, you and your mates are kind of the same local area, as
Hmm.
well as with family. Family are just happy to see you get along, as well as your
Hmm.
mates. You know, money's came up now and again. I make more money than make more than other mates. Some mates make more than me, but it's not typically. It's just more of a lifestyle where you live and that you kind of roll into the next thing into another.
Hmm.
Um, you know, so yeah, it's just kind of your surroundings, really, family and friends.
And are those family and friends, are they kind of anywhere near where you want to be?
Oh no, definitely not. I think obviously the goals that I've talked about, saving up for a house, engagement ring, there's travel involved in that as well. Before me and my missus settled down, we've talked about traveling the world. So, you know, to do that at this age is not something any I know that anyone has done in my age. So
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of mentioned it a bit before there, but what are you actually kind of doing for work at the moment? In a bank, was it?
yeah. So it's applications, it's credit card applications. So half admin, half customer service. You would jump on a call if needed, but you know, it's the same kind of admin jobs over and over again. You know
Hmm.
your systems, you know kind of the faults of it, you know how to work with customer service, you know this and that. Things might change now, like now and again,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's the kind of typically day to day.
So you're in a bank in an admin job, and it's very kind of repetitive. And is that kind of 5 days a week?
Yeah, 35 hours a week. Yeah,
5 hours. And how long have you kind of been doing that for? Did you say a year?
just coming up to a year. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So then in terms of like your kind of average day at this banking job, what time are you kind of getting up? What time do you kind of leave to get to work? What time do you actually get there? When do you finish? When do you get home? Just kind of run me through your day, really.
So we've got different rotas during the week, but excuse me, maybe 8 to 4, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, 10 to 6. So usually 8 hours a day.
Hmm.
Um, the commute could probably add on another hour to that.
Okay.
Coming back and forth from Glasgow. So yeah, probably say about 9 to 10 hours a day before I
Hmm.
get really settled, and then I've got hobbies like the gym. So
Cool. Yeah. So are you kind of getting up? How long's a commute? So an hour. So would you say you're kind of, say you're on a 9 to 5, like the normal day? Would you be
Yeah.
getting up on a what kind of time?
Well, 9 to 5, say I would get up at 7ish, be ready for about 7:30, the train for about 8, 8:30, whatever, the amount of time to get me into the office and settled.
Hmm.
Um, Finish for 5, might need to wait about for a train. It's not the best.
Yeah.
Um, get home for about 6, 6:30, run to the gym, come back. It's maybe 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock before I'm kind of really getting settled.
So
Yeah.
in that sense, obviously you said it's a 35-hour week. It's a 9-5, but if you're getting up at 7, you're getting to the office for 8, 9, you're there till 5, you're not getting home till half 6, 7. You're kind of doing kind of 12-hour days. And obviously this might kind of shift if it's a 10, 10, 6, you said, still kind of a 12-hour day. You're kind of
Yeah.
working all of these hours and you say you want more of that kind of time and freedom. Where does that kind of leave any time for you to actually do what you want to do? It's a 12-hour day. That's a 60-hour week, 240-hour kind of work month. How does that kind of make you feel and leave that any time for you to do what you want to do?
Yeah, I would say, during the week it doesn't. So at the weekend, it's when I'm balancing seeing family or seeing friends or seeing my girlfriend or whatever I'm doing there. So the weekend's really for that.
Mhm.
So if I'm seeing either girlfriend, family, friends, it's maybe once a week I see them.
And is that kind of enough for you at the minute?
No, like, it's with the pay and obviously the bills that you've got, saving up for a house and stuff. You pick and choose what you want to do. And as I said, it's frustrating. It's not really like where I want to be in my life.
Mm-hmm. And you said kind of frustrating, and you've said that a few times now. What's the most kind of frustrating part about it?
Just, feeling a bit above average. You feel like you're doing okay, but it's a bit frustrating that you feel like you're doing okay, but that's what you'll always be, you know. With trading, I think obviously, as I said, it would be the fulfilling part of actually doing well at that something at that. Obviously, something in my age to do really well in like a industry like that would make me feel fulfilled, you know.
And you kind of mentioned you're going to the gym as well. How many times a week you kind of go into the gym?
So probably 4, 5. I really try to not leave anything for the weekend, 4 or 5 times a week. So yeah, that is kind of bringing that up to 12 hours a day, as you said, during the
Yeah,
week.
yeah. Potentially even kind of 13 hours then if you're adding an hour into the gym and then you've got to get back home. And then by the time you've kind of had a shower, had some food, like it could be 9, 10 o'clock. And I assume you're probably kind of getting ready for bed, going to sleep to get up to do it all again the next day. Would that be right?
Yeah, definitely. It seems like a tight schedule during the weekday. Yeah.
And you mentioned it a bit as well. What's your kind of living situation at the minute?
So living with my mum at the minute, it's just because we're saving up for a house. It's kind of the dream house that we've seen. A 300,000 house. You need a 10% deposit, 30 grand. We've probably
Mhm,
got about 8 grand sitting there now. So we're heavy saving, like heavily.
mhm, mhm.
Um, Picking and choosing when we can go out because of that. Obviously, there's lawyer fees, things like that involved in it as well. So we'll try to get past the 30 grand goal, but it's a long goal, but we're definitely trying.
For sure, for sure. And obviously not even thinking about kind of moving into that new house yet with your missus. And does she live with you as well, your missus, or is it just you and your mum?
Just me and my mum, yeah, she lives separately as well.
So when you're kind of doing all these hours at work and going to the gym and getting back, how many kind of hours a night do you say you get to see your mum and spend time with her?
Yeah, it's again, it's not much. The weekends kind of balance that, to be honest. She might stay over in a night, Friday night, so it could be like
Mhm,
maybe a full day kind of seeing her during the weekdays, and it's like only seeing them like kind of 4 times during the month, so that's
mhm.
not obviously ideal.
So you'd say maybe across the course of a week, you're kind of spending a day's worth of time with your mum and with your girlfriend. Would that be right?
Yeah,
So that's like you said, that's 4 days a month, 48 days of the year. You're only kind of spending that time with them. And is that even kind of
Mm.
quality of time? Are you even kind of present if you're doing those 13-hour days?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's why I need to shift. The focus isn't there sometimes, you know. You feel like you're at a certain pace during the weekdays, and when the weekend stops, you're trying to calm yourself down and give yourself that time with family and friends. Sometimes it doesn't really work with that really busy, those busy weekdays.
And have you kind of thought how that might make your mom or your girlfriend feel that you only get to see each other for that limited amount of time, and even when you do, it's very much you're kind of your mind's elsewhere. You're still trying to kind of switch off from work. Have you ever thought how that might make them feel?
Yeah, I think, you know, they can see it's a bit frustrating for me and as well as my girlfriend, you know, we're trying to have quality time together when we can. You know, sometimes work life can bleed into that, and they can see how tired I am, and I know they would feel a bit gutted. You know,
Hmm.
they don't have like 100% of me there all the time because I might be work related or trying to calm down from work or whatever it is.
Yeah, and gutted's obviously quite a strong word. Can you go into that a bit more? Have is there any kind of experiences so far where they've just been like called you out on it, maybe?
Yeah, not much as like arguments, but there's been things where you know you need to be present, Kyle. You know, you're at work, Kyle. Kind of put the not the ego down, but you know, you kind of get the put the work head off and put kind of just personal time on type of thing.
Hmm.
Um, I do kind of struggle with having the what's the kind of just the self-respect of having the time at the weekend for just for me. I feel like I always need to keep going type of thing. Yeah.
Hmm. And how's that making you feel that even when you are not working, you can't even switch off? How's that making you feel?
Tired, I would say. I feel like it's a kind of battle between two people. You know, you try so hard to work for yourself, but yeah, definitely a bit tired and drained, especially on the weekends, as I said, when you have that time with your family and really can't clock out.
And even like so, what you kind of said to me, like the hours you're working and then kind of spending time with your missus and your mom, how much time do you kind of get to yourself? You've mentioned like it's a battle, like each night when you get home, how many kind of hours do you get to yourself?
Well, you know, it always depends on the weekend, to be fair, but say if I'm spending time with family or friends, it's maybe, you know, a couple of hours to myself at the weekend, if I'm
Hmm.
being honest. If
Hmm.
that's like hobbies or seeing friends outside that or something. Maybe like an evening during the week, you know, a
Hmm.
couple of hours.
So we're saying like you're kind of what you're kind of working with now, you're getting maybe an hour a week to yourself during the week. That's
Mm.
4 or 5 hours across the course of a month, and that's nothing. You're getting like less than half a day just to kind of switch off and spend time in your own head doing what you kind of want. When we kind of put that into reality, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think, you know, for how much you do work and you want to give yourself the self-respect of, you know, going to the gym and look after your family and things like that. Hearing that you only get a couple of hours during uh, a month is quite, yeah, again, gutting, you know. It's that same type of word. It's like, yeah, it's gutting, to be fair.
And just circling back to this job that's kind of not giving you the freedom that you want and only causing you to spend about 4 days over the course of a month with your family, the people closest to you. How much are you kind of making after tax? Did you say 3 grand?
3 grand after tax, yeah.
And then what are you kind of actually keeping of that for kind of what you want to do? So what are your kind of expenses like month to month that are kind of going out?
Yeah, so I help my mum quite well with the kind of big money. Then there's saving up for a house, as I said. There's the car, there's the phone, you know, some subscriptions online. I would
Hmm.
probably say I would be left with about around 1,500, being fair.
So yeah, we're left with about 1,500 at the end of a month. So considering like your take home of that 3 grand, you're spending half of that on, like you said, helping your mum, your expenses. 1,500 a month divided by the kind of those 240 hours, potentially even more. You're kind of working, getting to work, etc. You're actually only on about £6.25 an hour. Would that be fair to say?
Wow. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy to think that. Yeah, that's cutting, to be honest. Yeah,
And
that's shocking.
that's less than minimum wage in this country. Like,
Yeah,
how does that make you feel?
yeah, it definitely makes me feel average, to be honest. It's something I've always wanted to go above, but yeah, £6 an hour. What is that? A meal deal?
Yeah, barely a meal deal these days, isn't it?
Barely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So your current reality right now is you're doing 240 hours a week of a month, sorry, of work to have 4 days a month of time with your family or your missus, and we've not even got onto like your mates or spending time with them yet.
Yeah.
Plus, and you're only getting £6.25 an hour, plus kind of limited holidays and no freedom for you kind of at all. How is that actually making you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the reason why I'm on the call, to be honest, to kind of make a change. You feel like the small things can build up, and obviously after a while, you're like, right, I need to make a change now.
Mhm. And what are those small things? What are they?
Well, as I said, it's just obviously the hours at the weekend, and it's like the balancing the time with either the girlfriend, the family, the friends, um, choosing what you can do with your money, as you're saving so much in your bills and things like that. So it's just obviously the repetitiveness and the frustration of where I can put my money and how kind of free I can be.
So, with that in mind, like on a scale of kind of 1 to 10, one being you absolutely hate where you are right now, and 10 being you love where you are and you couldn't really ask for anything more, you've reached your full potential, where would you kind of put yourself?
Probably like a 3.
A three.
Yeah,
Why is it a three and not a 10?
because as I've said, it's the frustration of knowing where I am, and obviously the breakdown of how much I make an hour now.
Mhm,
The how much hours you've got with a commercial job. But with the 10, the person who has a 10 is so far ahead. The person who has a 10's got an Audi R8. He's got a house. He's got enough money for the engagement ring. He's traveling with his missus. So yeah, that person's far away ahead of me, I would say.
And that 10 out of 10, how much does he kind of earn, do you think, a month, maybe?
Well, it's a bit of a ballpark situation, but like I would say 10 grand,
Hmm.
10,000, yeah.
10K a month, yeah.
Mm.
And how long do you think you've been feeling like that 3 out of 10 and wanting to break this cycle of the 9 to 5? How long have you been feeling like that for?
Yeah, probably. I've always kind of had the feeling when you come out of school, you try different things, and you know, nothing's really stuck, to be honest. But probably since I was maybe 24, 25, I realised, I kind of feel like I need to make a change, and you identify yourself as this person. So probably for like, what, 4 or 5 years.
Really?
Mm.
So every month you've kind of sat back and felt comfortable being that 3 out of 10 and not doing anything about it. You've been missing out on about 7 grand a month. And when you actually kind of take a step back for a second, how does that kind of realistically sit with you, knowing that you've wanted to do this but you said even if we're like kind of on the lower end 4 years, you're missing out on 7 grand a month. That's over £300,000 that you've missed out on by not taking any steps to kind of get
Yeah,
closer to your goal. That's that house that you mentioned earlier.
yeah, I
How's
could
that
have
made
bought
you
that
feel?
house. Yeah, I could have bought that house. Yeah, yeah, it's gotten, to be honest, to think, I could have had that house by now. With obviously the 4 years to spend by.
And why have you then allowed it to get to this point where you've put nothing in place to give yourself a chance of becoming that 10 out of 10 version of yourself and having that house?
Well, probably expenses. I feel like I'm very not wise, but I'm very careful over my money, and I feel like the thing is I need to be a certain person, disciplined with finances to go forward in my life with savings and things like that.
Can you go into that a bit more for me? Why is that kind of stopped you from getting to that 10 out of 10 version of you?
Yeah, I feel like there is money there, but I feel a bit scared sometimes when you see these things online and committing yourself, the money into things. I'm like, I don't I don't really know. It's something that I've been jogging on my mind for a while, as I've said, the last 3, 4, 5 years. I think now, having the realization with myself of making a change is obviously if nothing changes, nothing changes. So
Mhm.
I'm here trying to be the 10 out of 10 person for myself.
Brilliant. And would you say, would it be fair to say that, like, if there's people online, they've all got two ears, two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. If they're making money online, then you can as well.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so, and I think that's the reality of it. It's the fear mongering that I've got over myself about it.
Because like myself, like Daniel, anyone out there that has made money online, we're exactly the same as you in terms of where we've come from, the opportunities we've had, especially in the Western world. So there's
Mm.
always that kind of opportunity out there, but the fear mongering, that's a mindset shift that sounds like you've kind of started to have, but it's got to kind of change from here. But with all of this kind of in mind, you're only on that £6 an hour, being a 3 out of 10, 4 days across the course of a month with your girlfriend and your mum, barely even a day to yourself. We haven't even touched on your mates, as we said. Do you feel like you've kind of missed out on anything over the past kind of year because of that?
Yeah, like there could have been opportunities to travel the world more in my 20s. That's probably a big thing that kind of comes out in my um yeah, traveling in my 20s probably, yeah.
And yeah, how does that kind of make you feel that you've been able to kind of miss out on that, and you're now getting to kind of the back end of your 20s? How's that made you feel?
Yeah, it's a feeling that you're like, I'll never get that time back. And I think that's what we're talking about here, like obviously having the time to do what you want to do in a role like this, is something that now I need before I hit in my 30s.
And is there anything else you kind of missed out upon, maybe like outside of like traveling? Is there any kind of situations where you kind of thought like, oh gosh, if I wasn't working, if I wasn't only earning 3 grand a month, that I'd be able to, oh, I could go and afford that, or I could go and do that? Is there anything else?
Yeah, yeah, I would probably have the house by now. I would probably, the things that if I'd done this 4 years ago, I would have had the house, I would have had the ring, I would have had the car that I wanted, you know,
Mhm.
more kind of valuable time with my family, friends, my girlfriend as well, definitely.
And how do you think your missus could have felt if like 4 years ago you could have moved in together? You're in that house, you're living together, so you're automatically going to see each other more. How do you think she kind of would have felt that you kind of fast track this to having that house 4 years prior?
Yeah, I think she would be, she would be over the moon, to be honest, mate. I think that's kind of the lifestyle that we want, and having that obviously feeling of that's a reality. She would be over the moon, mate. Yeah.
And now, can I ask, and like honestly, please kind of be honest with me now. Why have we allowed it to get to this point where we've missed out on having this house and living with your missus? You're only spending 2 days a month with her, earning only six pound an hour, and being a 3 out of 10, and it's had this impact on you where you said you're kind of feeling like you're two people when you're at work and when you're not. Why have you not gone
Mm.
out there and found a way to make sure that this isn't your reality?
Again, it's probably like the finances that I've got in my pocket. I feel like I know these courses can cost, obviously can be costly, but I've been kind of on the fence with some things, and that's probably led me to the reason why I'm here right now. But I know from today that I need to make a change, and obviously kind of look myself in the mirror a bit to change and go forward. So that's
And
probably the reason why.
yeah. But has kind of being on the fence and not taking those steps and thinking, oh gosh, I don't know whether this is going to work or not. What's that kind of led you to kind of get to now in your current situation?
Yeah, to stay the same. That's
And
it.
what happens if we keep kind of picking that kind of fearful, that skeptical kind of mindset? What happens?
Yeah, but we're still here. We're still here. We're taking our time to save up for a house. We are, the goals are in the far, far future rather than in the foreseeable.
And is that something you're kind of willing to let happen?
I think now, no.
Why? Why is that? Why now? Why now? No.
Well, obviously having a kind of breakdown of where I am, I think obviously someone telling you the other side of the call, especially like unbiased opinion, you
Hmm.
know, and having that kind of self-respect for yourself of, I know it would make me feel fulfilled. So this is what it is. This is the person I need to be to do that, to feel fulfilled.
Brilliant. Okay. And now, kind of moving kind of away from that, and thanks for kind of going into that for me. But moving into more bit of the specifics of kind of trading, how long have you actually been trading for now?
On and off, probably about 9 to 10 months. I was into future trading. I was into, I would say trending trading, but it would kind of be like the things you might see in Reddit, what would be kind of the interest at the point. Um, Now and again, just doing it kind of off my own back, to be honest. But yeah, that's probably how long I've done it.
Mhm. So 9 or 10 months, kind of futures, bit of kind of the scene stuff that's on Reddit.
Yeah,
What are you actually then looking to achieve from trading then?
it's like to be financially free, to be honest. And I don't obviously mean to have the absolute luck, streak the luck of gold and be financially free in my first year, but it's like, in maybe 5 years I could be financially free if I do this right. And, obviously learn the skills that is needed and just learn someone else's perspective, to be honest,
Mhm.
to really put me where I need to be.
And what does financial freedom look like to you then there?
I think financial freedom is you've got enough money in stocks to live happily. You're living off interest. You're living off, if I need to get this, if I want this car, if I want this holiday, I've got money to do it. I've already put my money in stocks to do that. There's nothing that I want is I can grab anything that I want.
Mhm.
And
And
like,
that was what you mean by happy, right?
but yeah, and fulfilled, yeah, definitely. If I want something, I've got the skills and I've got the discipline to do it.
Nice. Okay. And why is that so important for you to achieve then?
Because I feel like now that I've lived a life of the consistent 95 things, bear in mind, as we said, I've tried a couple of things.
Mhm.
I've gave myself the answer to that, and now I want to give myself the answer to the other side of the fence, as I've said, and I really want to see who this person is.
Mhm. Mhm. And have you felt like that for as long as you've been wanting to get out of that 9 to 5, like you said, from kind of age 24, 25?
Yeah, definitely. Like for a good time, enough to kind of reflect and go, you need to make a change here, Kyle.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. And obviously, I know you said when you said you kind of been doing this for kind of 9, 10 months. Have you ever kind of invested into any trading education or any courses or anything up until this point?
No, nothing really. As I said, like I've been on the fence about it again, and this is kind of the first time I booked in a call. Um, yeah, so this was kind of the one. Obviously, I seen Daniel online. I was quite interested, so I just kind of took the jump to jump on a call.
Mhm. And obviously, seeing his content, that's one thing. But what's the kind of the biggest driver for then you thinking, oh, I actually want to take this up a level now. I want to take this trading to the next level.
Yeah, I feel like you see people that are the same as you, the other side of the screen, and you're like, this can't be a facade. It can't not be real. And yet, obviously, seeing the lifestyle of that, that these guys are guys that have started with probably worse, excuse me, like a worse background than me, and what they've made out
Mhm.
of just having discipline has been amazing.
Mhm.
So I gave myself the question of why can't I achieve that?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And why has it kind of taken so long then for you to kind of see that and then take that bigger jump and get
Mm.
into kind of trading, not just as a kind of pass the time kind of thing, but a much more kind of important part of your life? Why is it taking so long to take that bigger jump?
Yeah, I feel like it was daunting, to be honest with you, when you start trading and you see the different markets of futures and trades and just the trends and things like that. But yeah, I just feel like, I need to know more. I need to know more in a short amount of time for my goals. And I think this is the reason why I've done it. Like I'm on the call. I'm doing it.
Mhm, mhm. And why are we going to do this now and then rather than kind of waiting 6, 12 months down the line to kind of make that change?
Because she needs that ring. She's feeling yeah, it just goes like that, mate. It's just obviously, I'm not willing to wait. X amount of time to get that 10% deposit or to get that ring or whatever. Like I want to live a comfortable life. I know where
Hmm.
I am in my life right now, and to give myself the respect of you've tried a lot of things and you're 95-year-olds, give something you're interested in and you're excited about a chance.
Hmm. Hmm. And you're kind of giving me a bit of an insight there, but like, so in kind of 2 years' time, paint me a picture of some of those goals. Is it a ring? What else is it?
Yeah, well, it's the ring, it's the house, it's the Audi R8's outside, the black Audi R8. That's what I want. There's enough money in the bank to continue this as well and still be excited, still be disciplined. I'm more myself. I'm more, I can really relax in situations with family and friends, as I said, and yeah, become that person I really want to be.
Hmm. Hmm. And you said earlier you want to make that 10 grand a month
Mm.
and get to the ring for your missus, get to the house so you can live together, the black Audi R8's on the driveway. You're obviously on the call because you believe that 10 out of 10 version of you that we spoke about earlier that is earning that amount of 10 grand a month is kind of out there. Would that be right to say?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely out there.
Because there's a 1.0 and a 2.0 version of us in our day-to-day kind of lives. 1.0 is always comfortable, taking easy decisions in the moment that eventually lead to the unwanted outcomes, get into a life that is average and forcing you to eventually have to face some kind of quite hard truths. And the success for those kind of people, because they make the easy decision, is always a want and never a need. And then there's a 2.0 version of you that makes that hard decision, the really uncomfortable decision, the one that will put you in an uncomfortable spot now, but will lead to that lifestyle that is 10 out of 10 in the future. So you don't have to feel like a 3 out of 10 anymore. And the success for those people and for you, because they're in that uncomfortable spot and making the hard decision, is a need and not a want. When it's a need, they're willing to do absolutely anything to make it happen and will find a way to do so. A want, on the other hand, they'll only do it when it's convenient. So you're being kind of brutally honest with me right now. Over the past 3, 4 years since you said you've been kind of 24, 25, wanting to break that 9 to 5, who have you kind of been listening to, 1.0 or 2.0?
Yeah, definitely 1.0. Yeah.
And why do you feel like you've been listening to 1.0?
Because I've probably seen comfort in these 95s, to be honest. When I kind of look back at it, you see the consistency in things, and I think that's the thing of going, oh well, let's just stay here for a while, until we see if we like it or not, really.
And remind me that mindset of being in a 9 to 5 and just thinking, oh, I can stay here for a bit, I can cruise. What has it kind of caused you to miss out on up until this point?
Yeah, again, like traveling with family, time with family, actually decent time with family, not rather than a couple of hours. Time with friends, girlfriend, obviously treating her or whatever we want to do. The house, the ring is as I mentioned as well.
And the question now becomes is what happens if you keep on listening to that 1.0 and seeking the comfort that a 9 to 5 gives you and missing out on that time with your family, your friends, your missus? What happens then?
Um, you know, we keep continuing what we're doing, and the goals are in the far, far future. They're not really foreseeable. It's kind of like, to keep this going, and yeah, it would be a bit mundane.
And is that something you're willing to let happen?
No, like, no, I've definitely gave my time to the 95s, and I feel like now I need to feel fulfilled, and I need to change to do that.
But I suppose kind of why not? Because for the last 5 years, but you even mentioned earlier, like since you've left school, you've been potentially listening to 1.0 and not 2.0 at all. So why, after missing out on all these things, did we not change? Why is now going to be any different?
I feel like I had a moment where I just kind of looked myself in the mirror. There was one time I came back from a 95, and the commute, the train was so busy, and you felt like you're in a rat race to get home.
Hmm.
Felt like in that moment, I was like, yeah, that person that I've always been listening to, it's like, yeah, I need to make this change.
So you're now kind of committed to no longer listening to 1.0 and killing those thoughts right here, right now, and stepping into that 2.0 version of yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you 100% sure on that?
Yeah.
And is it all right if I hold you accountable to that?
Yeah, that's it.
Brilliant. So if we do kind of hold you accountable to that and you can picture that 2.0 life, how will that make you feel when you achieve that?
Yeah, it would be amazing, as I said, fulfilled, you know. I would feel like you can kind of relax a bit and maybe find myself a bit more and, you know, travel, as I said. It would just feel so relaxing and, you know, I would be really proud of myself as well.
But with that in mind, and it also kind of makes sense to look at the other side of the coin. If we don't take action, what happens if we fast forward to 6 months down the line and things are the exact same as they are now? How will we feel then?
I would feel like I missed out on the opportunity to be my true self, probably. You know, I would always kind of be eating at me.
And that is exactly why this mentorship is ideal to kind of stop you from feeling like that in the future. What do you kind of think you potentially need as kind of a support system from the mentorship to actually achieve what you want to achieve with trading and get into that 2.0 lifestyle?
Yeah, I think obviously it's just like, obviously I've talked about having experience, but you know, I would just like to be treated as a beginner, maybe one-to-one questions as well. I like to, I'm a visual learner, so obviously seeing visual ideas or visual questions, kind of talk things out. Yeah, as well as that, like having the accountability to stay disciplined at something. I've dabbled in this, and I feel like for it to work, I need to be disciplined. So, yeah, that's definitely the two things there.
Nice. And giving you this kind of clear path that you need from beginner to moving forward to becoming a really good trader in the discipline, that's exactly what Daniel's mentorship is built to solve. And after everything we've spoken about today and who you are as a person, I think you're definitely a good person to work with, Daniel. And from your side, if this is going to kind of tick all the boxes and everything kind of sounds good to you, are you ready to take action on this today?
Yeah,
Brilliant, brilliant. And that's great to hear, but there's just going to be a kind of a final perspective from me is that even though you do feel like we can actually kind of help you, what's actually likely going to happen is there's going to be some kind of heavy resistance to change. And what I actually mean by that is there are two sides of your kind of brain working when it comes to making big decisions like this one is. And there's what I kind of like to call the devil and the angel. The devil will kind of sit on your shoulder and whisper in your ear reasons why you shouldn't do this, why you should keep kind of staying in the 9 to 5 and putting this off. And then on the other side, you've got the angel. What do you think the angel will be kind of telling you to do?
yeah, it would be take the opportunity.
Exactly. And who are you going to be kind of willing to listen to in that moment when we feel that kind of resistance to change?
Yeah, it would be the person that's I've not listened to, probably the angel. So,
And but why this time? Why are you willing to listen to that angel, even though the devil, you can probably hear him kind of whispering to you now, he's very powerful. Why would you be willing to listen to that angel?
because I need to make a change. It's something, you know. Yeah, I've listened to the devil too long, and you know, there's a time to change, and I think the time's now.
Mhm. Brilliant. So you're 100% committed to taking this next step.
Yeah,
Brilliant. So look, I feel like Daniel, myself, and the team, we can really kind of help. So based on that, I'm more than happy to kind of give you a little kind of rundown on how things will start to kind of look for you moving forward. How does that sound?
sounds good. Yeah, let's do it.
Brilliant. So just before I kind of break down what the mentorship looks like, you've probably seen kind of some of Daniel's content, as you kind of mentioned earlier. But he's been trading consistently for over 6 years, passed dozens of prop challenges, and works one-on-one with over 50 traders, some of whom actually got funded within weeks, others a few months. The key thing is they got the structure, the support, and the feedback that you said you needed, so they're not left kind
Mm.
of guessing with what they want to do. But I'll be honest with you now, like this isn't something that's kind of for lazy people or those just looking for like a magic kind of fix. It's for the people that are really coachable and ready to get serious and want to put in that work to get consistent with their trading. Does that sound all okay?
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Yeah.
So his mentorship is broken down into 3 pillars, covering everything you need to actually get you from where you are now to becoming consistently profitable. I can give you kind of a second just to grab a pen and paper to kind of take notes, or we can kind of jump straight into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the first pillar, I'm just going to talk you through kind of each pillar now. It's a bit wordy, but just kind of bear with me. you get kind of unlimited one-on-one mentorship with Daniel for 6 months. So you can reach out to him
Okay.
whenever you want, unlimited calls, breakdowns, tailored just for you. You're basically working directly with a profitable trader who customizes everything to your needs. And he could charge anywhere from $250 to $500 an hour for that kind of access. And along with that, you actually get some live daily trading streams 5 times a week during the Asia session for 6 months. So that totals out to be over 120 live sessions where you're trading alongside him in real time.
Okay.
And then there's even further learning. So you get a lifetime access to a complete trading system of PDFs, video tutorials, prop firm training, trade setup simulations, and real trade breakdowns. So all of that's there for you for lifetime access. Do you have any kind of questions on this first pillar?
No, everything seems okay.
And next pillar, then you join the private inner circle, which Daniel has at a maximum of 25 people in this at once. It's a really kind of tight knit community where you get live chart reviews, trade idea sharing, and direct feedback from Daniel daily, even more so than you'll get from the one-to-one mentorship. So it's literally
Hmm.
like having a mastermind group and a signal service kind of all rolled into one kind of program there. And on top of that, you actually get a custom personal strategy and funded account game plan. So Daniel will actually work with you to map out a plan based on your lifestyle, what strengths you have, what your goals are, and then he'll update that as you grow. So as you progress, it's like literally having a business coach, but specifically for your trading journey. And in terms of the actual feedback side of things, every month you're able to submit 5 to 10 trades for simulation review and chart audits. So he'll actually review your trades, give you feedback, and then help you improve. So is there any kind of
Hmm.
questions on that pillar?
Uh, no, sounds all good.
Okay. And the final pillar is actually about prop firm challenges. So have you ever actually used a prop firm?
No, nothing, like no experience with that, no.
And do you know kind of what they are?
Not really. I have heard it around, but no, not really.
So the premise of it is basically these firms, they've got lots of money. You can pay to use their money and trade with their money. Obviously, when
Yeah.
you only have a certain amount of money to invest to trade with, you can use their money. But obviously, there's lots of kind of challenges and stipulations that they will place on that money that they've given you. And if you mess up, you'll lose that money. And that's how they
Yeah.
make their money. They're banking on 100 people losing and only one kind of getting successful, and then you get payouts, and they'll also take a cut of that payout if you are successful. So the
Hmm.
bottom line, they're very kind of hard to pass on your own, but Daniel will actually kind of guide you through picking the right kind of prop firm, passing the challenge, and actually get into multiple of these prop firm accounts and actually becoming and building a consistent system. You actually get kind of 2 fully paid challenge vouchers, which are up to 100k accounts each. So meaning you can literally live start funding trading without risking your own capital. That's a massive advantage and actually removes a big barrier most traders face of actually investing with their own capital. Um,
Hmm.
so there you go. You'll actually follow his kind of 6-month roadmap from day one through to mastery, watching the live streams and learning the basics, actually practice on demo accounts first to actually then passing your challenges, getting funded, and actually trading confidently and consistently. And then by month 6, you'll be hopefully, and many people do get to this point if you put in the work, you'll be trading multiple accounts, getting payouts, and in control of your trading career, getting to that point where you can fill the goals of buying that ring and having that Audi R8 that you kind of mentioned earlier. How does all of that
Hmm.
kind of sound?
Yeah, it sounds in line with me, to be honest. Yeah.
Brilliant. So the last little bit here is, as for the kind of the fulfillment side of things, for 6 months, you'll get unlimited access to Daniel. And then
Hmm.
even after the 6 months ends, you keep lifetime access to the course, the Discord, and all the other recordings that he puts out. And then you'll also get early access to any new modules, strategies, or webinars that Daniel releases. So you'll be ahead of the curve in that respect. And then
Okay.
just before the end of that 6-month process, at around kind of 5 months, you'll actually have a call, one-to-one call with Daniel to kind of see where you're at. You can decide to kind of continue with him on the mentorship and take a step back with the learnings you've now got, or we can kind of continue to kind of persevere on your own. How does that kind of sound?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Brilliant. So look, I've spoken a lot there. In terms of all the process and everything there, how do you kind of feel?
Yeah, it's a lot of information to take in, to be honest. But I'm interested. I'm definitely excited about that.
And yeah, look, like that's just what we kind of have to do to give you kind of a rundown. But if you do join inside, all of that is kind of there for you. And just to be kind of totally kind of transparent here, one thing that's really important is kind of alignment. So when you kind of come and work with us, Daniel is generally kind of rolling up his sleeves and getting into the trenches with you. He's all in, and it's really important that the people he works with are all in as well. So do you kind of get what I mean with by that?
Yeah, discipline. Yeah, 100%.
So on a scale of kind of 1 to 10, one being kind of you're not interested, you don't feel like this could kind of help you, and 10 being exactly what this is exactly what I need, let's kind of do it. Where do you feel like you fall on that kind of scale?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I've got 100 questions, but I'm sure the kind of course will give me that. But yeah, I'm about 9, 10.
And why is that? What do you like about it?
It's just obviously, as I've said before, it's doing it yourself, but having someone there to kind of give you a scope of um, what their business is and how they especially do it, especially with the one-to-ones with Daniel. And I think obviously with having the time scale of 6 months as well really works for me as well, obviously with my goals. So yeah, definitely interested.
Brilliant. So with that kind of said, just before we get into kind of the investment and the logistics side of things, is there anything else that's kind of stopping you from being 100% certain here on feeling like the process and everything we've kind of covered today is what you need to get you to that goal of at least 10 grand a month you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm quite confident in everything going forward. So yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So I'll get into the payment side of things now. So to get access to everything we've spoken about now, it's a one-time payment of 5,500 US dollars. There are
Okay.
also a few kind of other ways to kind of break it down, like I mentioned to you before the call, but let me know what will work best for you.
Like 5,500
Dollars, yeah, that's right.
dollars. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a lot to be honest. Yeah, mate. What would be the situation, Daniel, if I could go and think about it?
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. And obviously, I'm sure you've kind of got a method of kind of making decisions when it comes to this kind of investment, and that
Yeah.
might be kind of how you deal with things. I get that, but I suppose, do you ever feel that maybe your mindset currently actually kind of shapes your decision making at all?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, talking about that on this call, yeah, it has done. Yeah,
And I suppose, are you kind of 100% happy with where you are right now in terms of having that kind of stream of income that's online? You're not having to go to that 9 to 5, having that freedom, making the money you kind of want. Are you 100% happy with where you are right now?
no, definitely not. I'm not 100% happy. No.
And obviously that's fine. Like not everyone is where they are. Not
Hmm.
sorry, not is kind of 100% happy. But do you want to allow that decision making process to actually dictate your results and your life moving forward?
No, I don't. To be honest, no.
And why not then?
I just feel like I need to be the person I need to be. I need to feel fulfilled. Um, the person I have been is hasn't done that. He hasn't went out and done his goals. So yeah, yeah, you're right.
And look, I understand this is hard, and I'm not saying it's kind of going to be a comfortable decision, because if it was, then it wouldn't even be worthwhile kind of speaking, as we all know where kind of comfortable decisions lead us. But
Yeah.
I mean, for you, would you kind of rather be that person, sorry, who makes the uncomfortable decisions now, as he knows it's not only the right thing now for him to do, but also for the future, so we can have that comfortable life of not dealing with finances, the stresses that are going to come with owning a house, getting married, having kids, going on kind of one holiday, 2 holidays a year, struggling with Christmas presents and having kind of peace of mind in the long term? Or are you going to be the person that is looking for the uncomfortable path now, but is never kind of thinking of his kind of future self, and goes by trying to kind of make everything easier in life, and ultimately in 5 years down the line is still stuck with that exact same problem, stress and challenges he's facing today? due to the easier choices he kept making. Like, which person do you feel you need to be right here, right now, to not only ensure that only in 6 to 12 months time, but over the next few kind of decades, you're not having to deal with these kind of issues you're having right now because you made that commitment? The person that's going to get
Yeah.
uncomfortable, or the person that's going to stay comfortable?
Yeah, it's the latter, the uncomfortable, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And why is that?
because I think we've talked about it in the call. Like we'll always be the person we're going to be if we stay comfortable. And I think obviously I've assessed being the comfortable person, so I need to be the person that makes uncomfortable decisions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if that decision making process that you're using right now has led you to kind of be where you are now, how do we put you in a position so that when you go to bed tonight, you know that you're doing everything you can to get to where you want to be? Is it going and
Yeah,
doing what we've always done, or is it being uncomfortable and committing and actually picking a direction and taking that mindset and throwing it out the window? What do you think is going to get us closer?
yeah, it's as you said, throwing that person out the window, isn't it, and committing to a new person.
So where do you want to, or how do you want to kind of proceed from here?
I say fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it.
you sure?
Yep.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, look, so if we're going to do this, I can send over the payment link to you now. I've got your email from when you booked in, so I can send that over to you, and I can send the link. And then if you go through that link, it will just ask you for some basic kind of details of banking and obviously name, email, etc. And
Okay.
then we can work through that. It should only take a few minutes. I'll stay on the call with you to do it, and then we can do it now. Shall I send that link over?
Yeah, please do, mate. Yeah.
Sweet. I'll open this up. Right, I'm sending that link over to you now. It's just coming from my email, so danieljames@gmail.com. So you should see that.
Okay.
I've sent that now. Check your spam. So it might go through into your spam, but hopefully it should come through straight away.
Okay. Yeah, mate, I've got it here. I've got it here.
Brilliant. So if you click on that link, and it's literally just like if you're just paying for a pair of shoes or something. But yeah, you can fill it all in there. You can see the price there as well.
Okay.
So
I've
just
got
let me know once you've kind of filled in your details there.
I've got my details on this. It shouldn't take too long, mate.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Has it worked?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
Gone through, yeah?
That's it too.
I'll just check on my end that it should have gone through, which it should have done. Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, no, I've got that. All seems to have gone through. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Nice one.
So look, I'll get you into kind of the what now, which is like where all the kind of the training modules are. Then I'll set up
Okay.
your Discord and your one-to-one chat with Daniel. Basically, all I'll say is try to book in your intro call with him as soon as possible. It'll be 45 minutes long, so hopefully a bit shorter than this one, but you'll have a chat through kind of where you are, where you want to go with this, and how we can kind of get you there. How does that sound?
Sounds good, mate. Yeah, I'm excited.
Brilliant, brilliant. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, mate. And look, please use me as much as you kind of want. You've got my number, you've got my email.
Yeah.
I've obviously kind of come from where you've come from. I'm more than happy to kind of help you wherever you kind of need me to. But all I'd say is kind of jump straight into it with everything you've kind of got, and you'll really reap the rewards. You'll get that ring, you'll get that house, get that Audi R8. But yeah, just chuck yourself into it. All right.
Cheers, mate. I do appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Brilliant, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And yeah, we'll speak soon, I'm sure.
Speak soon, mate. Thanks very much.
Thank you, mate. All the best.
Cheers, bye.
All right.